Hi, I'm Garcella Robinson and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. I am literally so sad to be bringing this video. I really don't even want to do it to an extent, but I'm here to entertain, and today I plan on recommending and also battling my favorite young adult and middle grade books. Now, I feel like middle grade and young adult is very slept on. It is one of my favorite genres, of course, behind fantasy and romance. So, do I even have a least favorite category? Yes, I do. It's nonfiction. Listen, all the people who read nonfiction, nothing against you, just not my type of thing, and it's definitely at the bottom. But that's not what we're here for. So, this is a video that I plan on giving you guys. It's gonna be a battle between my favorite middle grade slash young adult, and even recording this video is making me feel like a villain, and that's why I got one of my favorite shirts on with all of the Disney villains. So let's go ahead and get started. So before getting started, I just want to clear up is that I love every single last one of these books. These are one of my favorite books that I have read, and I will continue to recommend it to anybody that listen if they ask me for a middle grade or young adult book. So this is really going to be hard for me because I'm battling them against each other, and I feel like they don't deserve that, but they're going to get it. So let's go ahead and start. So I'm gonna pop up the graph so you guys can see how this battle is gonna go, and of course we're gonna have our favorite ones, well, my favorite ones, at the end to battle against each other, and we're gonna pick who is the most victorious out of this whole entire battle. And my favorite to date young adult or middle grade book. Now, this is how the graph is going to go. I'm just going to pop it up here. So, the first series that we're going to get started with is Renegade versus Steelheart series. So, just to remind you, this will not be, I'm not really battling the first book. I'm battling the entirety of the series itself. And of course, you already know I got them pulled up. Of course, I got them in paperback edition. These are my favorites. So let's go ahead and get started. I've picked these two against each other because they kind of center around the same thing, and that's young adult superheroes. So in this one, we have pretty much, I will say it kind of gives the boys vibe, but with young adult. It gives the boys vibe with young adult, and Marissa Meyer and both Brandon Sanderson are one of my favorite authors. And let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty so we can see who comes out victorious in this first battle. So go ahead and looking over stats, I rated this 4 stars and I rated this 3.75. But when I was reading my reviews, this one felt more like a beginner, of course, a beginner series. And this one was more centered around revenge. Now, you also have this one about revenge too, but it's mostly about villains versus superheroes, and how our main character in this book, she's kind of like, she's on the villain side, but she wasn't really giving off villain vibes. And I feel like that was throughout the whole entire series. Now, with this one, I felt like with each book I kept falling in love, you know? Like, I feel like there wasn't one where I was like second guessing it. And I believe even for this one, I actually started like, don't get me wrong, Marissa Meyer did write a beautiful story, and I would continue to recommend it. But when you hate the main character or just dislike the main character, it kind of brings a little problems with it. Versus Steelheart, I loved everybody in this series, and the ending was just spectacular, and it continued to be spectacular. Even the hurt and the pain that the Reckoners were showing and giving off. So guys, please don't be mad at me. These are both my favorite books, okay? These are both my favorite books, but Steelheart, it's gonna continue to be in my soul. So I feel like Still Heart won this battle. That's one down. Still Heart won this one. And okay, let's go ahead and say I didn't feel like that was a little too hard. Don't get me wrong. I love, like I said, I love both books. I love them, and I will continue to recommend them. I don't feel like it was that hard. You know, I feel like it's definitely gonna get harder as it goes because, like, I'm mentioning my favorite. I mentioned my babies, okay, my babies, and it's hard to even just think about pitting them against each other, but we are here now. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the next one that I plan on doing is Aurora Rising and Skyward. Aurora Rising and Skyward. So the reason why I pitted both of these against each other is because both of them are a sci-fi young adult fantasy, and of course you can already see the main girls on the front, and then bringing up a found family, found crew, and this is what both of these give off. I feel like they're both they're both really similar, and I love both of these, but we're going off the entirety of the series, and I don't feel like this is that hard for me. I feel like it wouldn't be that hard for any other body that literally read it. I don't even really need to even go into a synopsis, because who you think it's gonna be? Who you think it's gonna be? Because if you guessed Aurora Rising, you were correct, okay? You were correct. Now, don't get me wrong, I loved Skyward, but let's go ahead and get into this one a little bit, okay? I felt like in the first one, I felt like if we was going off the first book, Skyward would definitely have more of a fight, because it takes place with this girl, her always wanting to be a pilot, and how her dad's death was a little suspicious, and she's always wanted to reach for the stars, you know. And he like Brandon Sanderson really put that into perspective for us about like the pain that she went through, the bullying and stuff, like with being different. But once again, this series fell off the more that you went along with it. Like, I felt like once I started getting to the last books, I was kind of just done. And what really brought it to even be more of a favorite is because I really loved the first one, and I feel like I didn't want to take this off of this video because I still love the first one, and I love Brandon Sanderson, so of course he got to get added to it. Okay, of course he got to get added to it. But then once I end up reading like it was like a, what was it? It was like a telling, like kind of like a POV for all of the people that she ended up being found friends and found family and stuff. All the people that she ended up meeting then end up telling their stories, and that really like gave it a bit of a boost. But sadly I didn't. I wasn't vibing with the rest of it, but the first one was definitely good. And of course we got our winner, Aurora Rising. I love this book from start to finish, okay? Start to finish. I love the found family. I love the relationship dynamics, and I just love so much about it. I believe I even said, like, I don't want to give a spoiler, but there's a part at the end where everybody comes together, and it tells like all like what they did in the future. Like, I felt like even with these 3 books, I felt like this series was not long enough. Like, I wanted to have like a second part of the book that was giving us what they did after their life, you know, what they did after this entire series. So we got another win, and this one was easy too, okay? It wasn't that hard. Y'all already knew Aurora Rising was gonna win. I've been mentioning it for 3 videos, okay? I've been mentioning this book for 3 videos, so you knew it was gonna win. But Aurora Rising took the cake. She's at the top, okay? Jake Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. Can't forget both of them. They are at the top. So we done completed round 2. Now let's go into something that's a little bit more hard for me, okay? It's a little bit more hard for me, but let's get her done, okay? And the next battle that we're going to be having is Unwind versus the Hunger Games series. And I feel like no matter which side that you're on, like if you're a Neil Schusterman fan, you're going to be hurt. If you're a Hunger Games fan, you might be hurt. We just never know with me. We just never know because both of these are my favorite, okay? Both series are my favorite. And guys, let's go ahead and get started. Next we got Hunger Games and Unwind. Now let's go. Okay, let's already give Hunger Games a point, okay? Suzanne Collins is continuing to come out with books, and even when she continues to be in this realm, in this area, in this field, she is still knocking it out. Like, her books are literally becoming movies right when she drops the book. Is anybody like, that's just blowing, is it blowing my mind? Because it should be blowing yours, okay? Coming out every time she drops a book, it's like they already have the script and everything. They're just like, hey, y'all ready to drop this movie right now? Because it's coming out in summertime. It's coming out whenever. And she do get props for that because each time I've read it, I love them. I love them. I cried for what was the last one that came out. I cried for that one. I love Snow book, even though Snow is a piece of crap. And she just did a great job, okay? She's continuing to do a great job. So she gonna get her big one, and yeah. But don't count Unwind out too soon, okay? Don't count Unwind out too soon. This is literally, this brings back childhood, okay? This brings back being one of the first books that I've read when coming out of boot camp. This brought me out of a dark time, even though it's a dark book, okay? So it's definitely getting its big one. But does it has a movie written for it? I can't really go off ratings because I rated all of these either above 5 stars, well, 5 stars, or above a 4.5 stars. So I can't even go off that. And I really don't want to go off movies too because I feel like the main reason why Unwind most likely wouldn't get a movie is because of how real it is, and both of them take place in a dystopian world. And Unwind definitely keep me on my toes, but I always come back to Hunger Games. And guys, listen, okay, I need a second to think because I thought I had it, but I really don't want I don't, but look at that cover though. Look at that cover. Okay, don't get on me. I'm trying to waste time because I don't want to choose. I don't want to choose. I'm going to have to pick Hunger Games. You didn't hear me say that. Turn the cameras off. It's gonna have to be Hunger Games. I'm sorry. I always come back to this series. I believe I had picked this book up after I got out of boot camp. I loved, when I was younger, my dad, when the Hunger Games movies was coming out, he always took me and my siblings to go see it. I was there for every movie when it hit theaters. I love everything to do with the Hunger Games. You know, I really love the concept of it. It had me in tears when the movie came out. It had me in tears when she continues to write the book. And don't get me wrong, I love both of them, but Hunger Games will take the cake. I just feel like the world was so well done, so well built. It will always stay in my heart. Both of them will always stay in my heart, okay? Don't get on me. But it's gonna have to be Hunger Games. It's gonna have to be Hunger Games. Maybe another time. Maybe another win. Maybe I should have put it up against another book, okay? Maybe I should have put it up against another book. But Hunger Games got this one. Got this one. So if you were rooting for Hunger Games, you did your big one because you knew it was gonna happen. Now, this one is gonna be really hard for me. I feel like they all are really hard for me, but this definitely is up there for being hard. Percy Jackson and the Cinder series. Percy Jackson and the Cinder series. Like, if you watch my video, you know how much I love the Cinder series. I even went as far as to, I believe I read this series almost 2 or 3 times, and I love it. But ready, start. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and get into it. I don't even want to think about it. I just want to speak really fast and go ahead and choose it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to choose out of these two. I love Percy Jackson. I love Cinder. I love Percy Jackson. I love Cinder. Oh my goodness. I literally feel like I'm going to cry. I don't want to. Who told me to do this video? Who agreed with me? Who said this would be a good idea? All right. My siblings. Maybe I should blame them. Cut it out. All right. I'm an adult. But let's go ahead and get started. Now, let's go into it. I believe I rated all of Percy Jackson books 5 stars. I rated all of Cinder's series 5 stars, you know? Man. Let's go ahead. You know, while I think it through, let's go ahead and let me tell you the reason why I pitted these against each other. I chose the Percy Jackson versus the Cinder series because this is a retelling. The Cinder series is a retelling of all, like, I would say majority of the princesses. So you have Cinderella, Scarlet, which is Red Riding Hood. Well, I wouldn't say the princesses, but like kind of it's retellings. You have Cinderella, you have, sorry, I'm blanking. You have Red Riding Hood, then you have Rapunzel, and then you have Winter, which is Snow White. And both stories have a good premise. And man. And the thing about it is both main characters, all the main characters, I love them. They have a good story. They have a good build up. You know, I feel like they started really low and they built themselves back up. This is really going to be hard for me, guys. This is really going to be hard for me. Should we skip and go to something else? Like, I don't know. Should we just skip and go to something else? Maybe they don't even need to battle, you know? Maybe they don't even need to fight. We could talk this out. We could talk this out. And the thing about it too, I don't want to upset anybody. I don't even want to upset myself because I feel like I'm going to be thinking about which series I chose, and I'm still going to be hurt. Because I still feel like there's things that in the Cinder series, which was better than the Percy Jackson series. Like, I feel like majority of the time in the Percy Jackson series, don't get me wrong, I love this book, but I felt like, well, it is named Percy Jackson, but he ended up having his own found family group, and it continued to, like, I feel like they just depend so much on him. Don't get me wrong, I feel like their other characters, like, they growed a lot. They had a lot of growth, especially, what was her name? Annabeth? Was it Annabeth, I believe? Yeah, I believe it was Annabeth. Annabeth had so much growth. Percy had so much growth. Just everybody in this story has so much growth. And the same with the Cinder series. But I feel like also with the Cinder series, like, the way that Marissa Meyer did it in Cinders, like, she kind of gave you a lot of characters posed, and I love that. Like, I love when you're doing a found family and you putting a group together that you get everybody's side, you know. And when I had read Cinder, it did take, I wouldn't say it took me a minute to get through it. It's just I do like to take long breaks between the book. As far as Percy Jackson, I literally read this book back to front as fast as I could, okay? There was just no stopping. Foot was on the pedal, okay? Foot was on the pedal, hitting gas, start to finish, okay? I really loved Percy Jackson. But I also really love Cinder. Like, I feel like there's just not a lot of books where you read a retelling where you read a retelling and you where you read a retelling and they do such a good job in making the characters have their own story but also relate to, you know, the main story. And even with Marissa Meyer, like, she don't make anybody so, like, she don't make them, like, the main character have such a big head. Like, she actually have her work with her people. She actually want to stand with her people and stuff like that. But for Percy Jackson, Rick Riordan literally wrote Percy Jackson for his son. You know, like, the way he put the story, he made it where so his son can have more confidence, you know, and be okay with having ADHD. That's why he mentions majority of all the half, you know, half demigods, or yeah, pretty much demigods. I said half demigods. They just demigods. The demigods having ADHD and that relaying to them having powers and stuff like that. And I don't believe Marissa Meyer. I feel like this has more of a, like, they both have gut wrenching tales, you know. They both have it. But as much as I love Cinder, and I'm not even saying this as a fan favorite because I know there's people out there who love the Cinder series, okay? The Cinder series is not slept on. It might not be talked about a lot, but it is not slept on, okay? But I will have to pick Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson has always been a childhood favorite of mine, okay? I literally love the entire series. I actually want to watch the Disney Channel one, the new one that they got on. But I love the old one too. And I will continue to love the old one, even though when I re-look on it after I read the books, I'm like, who the hell decided on writing this movie? Because this ain't accurate at all. Like, literally, y'all was just taking parts from that crap and just putting it together and just said it was Percy Jackson, okay? You're playing in our face. You're playing in our face. But that's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about. Okay, cut the cameras. Let me stop. But I would have to choose Percy Jackson. I love this series, and I was, even being able to read it, I just had such a good bond with, and especially because the way that Rick Riordan write his characters, it makes you be able to feel like, because a lot of people have undiagnosed ADHD. I'm not saying everybody, you know, the people who be out there just lying and stuff just because they feel like it's a trend or whatever, but the people who actually are undiagnosed, I feel like he really put a spotlight on and gave them something to be confident about, especially when you're being awkward, being bullied. He really put that tale in there. And I feel like it's not even just that Percy Jackson was dealing with people, like, you know, just dealing with the whole world. He actually thought of not just himself, but also the gods not claiming their children. And I feel like that's something that, like, he just really, like, for such a young kid, he really knew what he was talking about. You know, he really gave his, okay, I'm going into a whole rant. That's how you know I love some Percy Jackson, okay? And nobody can ever make me hate it. I was even thinking about naming my new dog Percy, okay? That's how much I love it. Was I trying to name my dog anybody named from this? Thorn? Probably. That's my man. I'm just kidding. But no, I was not. And we know who won this battle, okay? It's Percy Jackson. Like, who was surprised? Not me. It was really hard. But forever in my soul, forever in my heart. But yeah, Percy Jackson won this round. Go ahead, clap it up for the people who know they love some Percy Jackson, okay? Okay, guys, let's go ahead and give my brain a little break, okay? Let's give her a little break. All right, literally for the past 3 battles, I done almost lost my heart, my soul, my will to read. I can never do that. I can never lose my will to read. I could never lose my will to read, but it was definitely putting some hurt on me. Like, the weight is on my shoulders. But yeah, let's go ahead and give myself a break, and let's bring out this next battle. And I will say, okay, I'll do it when we go ahead and mention it. Now the next one is gonna be Hooky versus Amari and the Knight Brothers. So we have Hooky versus Amari and the Knight Brothers. And yes, I know this is a graphic novel, but I still want to include this because this is one of my favorite middle grade middle grade graphic novel, and I feel like it still counts, okay? It still counts. And the reason why I said let's give my brain a break, because one, I just want to get this over with. This is not even a competition. All right, it's not even competition. Hooky won, okay? Let's go ahead. That's why I'm giving myself a break. Now, let's go a little bit more into it, and why I'm choosing this way is because, one, I love Hooky from start to finish, and tell you the truth, I want a fourth one. I want a fourth one right now. Like, right in this instance. I feel like if this author was to come out with a fourth book, literally, I would be opening up my bank account, and y'all will be getting another book haul video because this would be on it, all right? I love this from start to finish. This had a really good story, a very good premise. As far as Amari, like I said from the beginning of the video, I love all these videos. I mean, I love all these books. There's not one book that I would say I dislike, or series that I dislike. Like, I continue to love them. It's just more of, there's some books in here where the story kind of started to fall off, and that was Amari and the Knight Brothers. Don't get me, I love the first one, and I will continue to recommend the first one. The second one was okay, and the third book felt like the publishing company was telling him, hey, we need this book right now, so put it out. I don't care if it makes sense, just drop it. And that's exactly what happened. And I was very disappointed in that book. But I still wanted to add it in. I still wanted to add it in this category because Amari and the Knight Brothers is still a favorite of mine, and the first book will continue to be a favorite of mine, and the second one will be okay, somewhat. It's up there because it's a part of the series, but this wasn't even a battle, all right? I'm not gonna lie, Hooky dragged Amari and the Knight Brothers. Dragged it. Okay? Dragged it. But that was easy. Whew. I needed that break. Y'all needed that break. I needed that break. Okay? But yes, Hooky won this one. On our next battle, guys. We have The Cruel Prince versus Defend the Dawn. Now, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, let's go ahead and begin. We got our two contenders, Cruel Prince and Defend the Dawn. Now, one, I done read my reviews, guys, and apparently I really like Cruel Prince and the whole entire series. Apparently, I read it all in one sitting. Okay, not in one sitting per book. You know, I read this one, finished it all in one go, read the second one. You get what I mean. And then we have Defend the Dawn, where I love the first, well, tell you the truth, I didn't really like the first book, and I continued with the series, and then Bridget Commemorer started popping off. Now, I just want to say, let's all not get butthurt. This is all jokes and games, okay? This is all jokes and games, and don't get me wrong, I really look... I know I keep repeating myself, but I can't say it enough, because I don't want you guys to think like the way that I'm getting on these books is that I don't like them. I really love them. These are all my favorite books. That's why it's so hard for me to choose which ones are my favorite and continue on with this, you know? But I want to entertain y'all, and apparently I'm entertaining myself because I'm laughing at it. I'm laughing at myself, all right? But let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I really love The Cruel Prince, and I really love the main character. And I just want to say, I know this is very crazy to think, but a lot of the times when girl characters get done, I end up not kind of like liking them. I know that's very unfeminist of me to say, but I end up not liking them. And I feel like it's mainly because they're either whining, chasing after some dude, or, you know, you get the gist. I feel like the main character is not always done well, especially, like, and I wouldn't even say, the only reason why I say women is, like, when the women is done. And the only reason why I say that is because majority are my main character books have a female main lead. Like I want to be able to see myself in those characters, and sometimes they aggravate me and get on my nerves. Do sometimes they prove me wrong? Yes, they do, but sometimes they disappoint me, okay? They disappoint me. But The Cruel Prince and Jude did not. Like, I felt like she continued to show out. I really loved her as a character. Caden, I liked him too. You know, he crept up on me, okay? He crept up on me. And I really loved him too. And this Defend the Dawn, I feel like I really loved the series altogether. Okay, I really love the series altogether. And the reason why I'm making this choice, okay, which one you think is gonna be? Which one you The reason why I'm making this choice only because the first book was trash, okay? The first book was trash. So the winner of this one is going to have to be Cruel Prince, okay? It's going to have to be Cruel Prince. Now, I love this whole series all the way through, and I feel like it's really hard. I wouldn't say it's really hard for me to finish a book in one sitting, but a book is really pulling my attention, literally pulling my attention. If it could have me finish this series, because I believe I'll finish this series in 1 week. Okay, I finished the whole series in 1 week. This doesn't have that many have that many pages, but I still finished it in one sitting, and I feel like that says enough. I rated all of them 4 stars and above, and literally my soul just knew, because I haven't read this book in a long time, and I really do want to do a rereading to catch myself back up on, like, you know, how it's going. But I knew myself so well that when the kind of like it was, you know, the add-on to this series, like, it's still the verse, I believe that's what it's called, you know what I mean. In this verse, she ended up coming out with another book, I believe. Where is it? The Stolen Heir. She ended up coming out with The Stolen Heir, and I literally picked it up right when the day it came out in Barnes and Nobles. I picked it up. When Defend the Dawn came out, because I didn't like the first one was just okay. Like, it didn't spark anything, and it took me a minute to even pick up the second one. And then when I picked up the second one, I was like, okay, oh my goodness, this is so good, I love it. But it took a minute for me to actually pick the second book up, and I feel like to be able to compete with a book that I didn't even remember the full thing, but I still end up picking up, that the next part of in that verse says something. It says something. It says that the Cruel Prince is a winner. That's what it says. All right, we know who won that. The Cruel Prince won. Now we only got 2 more contenders. This is easy, okay? This part, well, okay, it's hard, all right, but we're getting through the easy part, because once this is done, the ones that I chose have to compete against each other. Because we need to find a main winner. And that's what I'm going to do. Up on our next battle, we have Ray Bear versus the Witchlings, or Witchlings. Now, I will say the only reason why this is hard for me is because I love the first books. For both series, and both the series and the duology. I love the first book, and then slowly the series began to fall off. So it's gonna be hard, because I'm going based off the first book. So let's go ahead and get this battle started, guys. So we have Ray Bear versus the Witchlings. Now, the first thing that I want to say is that I really loved both books. And both books, definitely the second book flopped, because I haven't read the third book in this one, so I feel like this one can make itself up, but sadly this one cannot. I felt like on Ray Bear, so of course, I'm just gonna say it now, okay? I'm just gonna say it now. When I was going through the rest of the books, I was kind of already thinking on these two, and I will say the Witchlings won on this one. Okay, it won. The wit the Witchlings did win. Now let's go ahead and give this a justifiable answer, because I don't want y'all to sleep on Red Bear. It is a book that's not meant to be slept on, okay? This book was really good, and I really love the first one. I feel like it was one of those books that had so much promise. But I also felt like on the second book, the author kind of, I wouldn't say, I feel like she just needed more time to write the next book. And I feel like a lot of the times with authors, they had, like, I feel like they get, when they come out with the really good first book, they get so much pressure put on them because, like, they of course get approved for that second book. And then when they get that second book, they're like, oh yeah, we need this book right now. We need these books on the shelf right now, right now. And then when that happens, they end up giving us a crappy book. And when we get that crappy book, it kind of just, I kind of feel like it just ruins the whole entire duology, as it say, for you. And that, I wouldn't feel like it ruined the whole duology for me, but I do feel like this is a book that needs to get picked up. I don't want to have people sleep on this book, but I feel like the second book definitely was a flop. The same with Witchling. The Witchling was a flop too. But the first one was very well done. It was very well done. I rated this 5 stars. I feel like for this one, it really brought me back to youth. And this one really, I feel like this one, it was just nice to, not even just nice, like it was just a really great book. And it's nice also to have a representation that looks like you. Like, look at her hair. I bet if I took my bun down, my hair would be that big old fro. That best look nice, don't it? Made me want to change my answer. I'm just kidding. But yes, to have a character that represents you, or like, looks like you, and that was really nice to see. And also for the book to be really well done, and to also have, like, I would say, like, it was really well done. And I would continue to recommend this book. Just the second book wasn't well done, like it wasn't good. And I really felt like that author really should have just pushed back and be like, hey, let me own my craft, okay? Let me own my craft. Like, I understand y'all want me to push this book out so we all can make money, but I want to be able to continue to show girls like me, or anybody who's just trying to have this experience, that a really well written book will benefit every time. And I feel like for this series, it was definitely more quality over quantity with that second book. But pick up the first one, okay? Pick up the first one. I don't want y'all to sleep on it, because it was really well done. And maybe y'all opinion would be different from mine, but I don't want to just pick this book over the base of the cover. I want to be able to pick it for what's inside. And that's what I did. And also, too, I feel like with Witchlings, even though I didn't like the second book, she just came out with the third one. And she's also coming out with the fourth one. And I feel like there's time for her to pick up. Because sometimes the second book in a series end up flopping, and then that third book, takes off from there. Like, that second book lead into it, and that third book and fourth book take it all the way there. And that's exactly what I need. So that's the reason why I'm choosing this one. It definitely hit the top. And also with the second book, even with the second book for this series, I rated the second book 3 stars, and I rated the second book on this one 2 stars. So for the first level of this round, we're finally on the last battle, at least for this level. You get what I'm saying? That first level to knock out all the ones who's really great books, but aren't all the way at the top, okay? Aren't all the way at the top. And listen. I know y'all looking at it and y'all like, why is this even a battle? This ain't one, okay? This is not a battle. But this book just needed to be mentioned, okay? It needed to be mentioned. That's the only reason why I got put up here. So this is definitely going to be fast. And that's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder versus The Inheritance Game. Let's begin. We got The Inheritance Game versus A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Now I had chose both of these books because both of them are a mystery in its own way. Her investigating like a suicide lover, well, a murder suicide, and this one investigating why she ended up inheriting the Hawthorne legacy, why she ended up inheriting the Hawthorne legacy. And who y'all think won? Who y'all think won? A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This wasn't even a competition. This wasn't even a competition. Literally, okay, don't get me wrong. I really love the first book in the Inheritance game, and I continue to like it. I feel like it really took off on that last book. But the only reason why I even had this one competing with this one, because I wanted A Good Girl's Guide to Murder to get added in on this episode, okay? I wanted her to get added. I wanted this book to get added on this episode. And one, Avery made me so angry, okay? She made me so angry the whole entire book. And Grayson and, what was his name? What was the other brother name? Jameson. They both angered me so much. Like, I felt like they're battling over this girl. And literally, she's taking all y'all money. Like, what are y'all battling for? Like, y'all need to be battling in them courtrooms, okay? Because this girl is stealing all y'all money. Y'all trying to investigate and play games. And she done got all your money. And then the fact that she continued wanted to figure out what was going on. I'm telling you right now, if they would have brought me to that, like, listen, that's why the author know who to choose to go to this house, okay? Because I'm telling you, if I won this entire legacy, I literally would stay in the house and stuff like that. I would not leave the house. I'm not investigating nothing. I'm not trying to get killed, shot at, nothing. I ain't trying to do that. I done inherited all this money. We're not trying to figure out nothing. I'm not trying to investigate nothing. I'm gonna do my time and get out. I'm not trying to fall in love with no two brothers. I'm not trying to fall in love with none of y'all up here doing riddles, trying to play games. And not even just that, the way Avery vibes was giving off, to me, at least to me, I felt like she was giving off vibes that she really liked Grayson and she settled for Jameson. That was just my opinion. And that's only because Grayson wasn't trying to take Avery from Jameson, because the way this girl kept like all around Grayson, like, come on now, stop the game, girl, you ain't fooling nobody. I did not like her. And I feel like the point of just the investigating, this wouldn't even be a one book with me. Not even just one, but this would have been a one book with me, because I would not be investigating nothing. I would wait, do my time, and take my money. And the ending, don't even get me started. Listen, I'm just gonna stop it here. We just already know who won. Don't get me wrong. I feel like if you want a good rage bait book, this is it. If you want a good rage bait book, this is it. Like, that's the only reason why it's still on my shelves and I haven't gave it up, because the story definitely it really pulls you in, because a lot of these books I was finishing in one go. But also, Avery made me mad, and the two brothers fighting over her made me mad too. So, really good rage bait book. But we already know who won this, and that was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I felt like Holly Jackson did she deserved her flowers, okay? She deserved her flowers. She did such a great job. Even that ending, like, you would never expect a murder mystery to go that way. Like, oh, man. Man. I can't wait to, I felt like there was never I wouldn't say that. It's just that, because I have a little bit, like, I be forgetting stuff easily, especially with books. Like, give it a couple of years, I probably, maybe, depending, I maybe forget a little bit, like, the gist of it. I will know what happens at the end, but I don't be usually remembering all the nitty gritty details. But I felt like for this was a book that I would literally love to wake up tomorrow never having read this, to be able to keep on experiencing this book over and over and over and over and over again, okay? I would love to experience this book again, and I will continue to recommend it to anybody who want to listen, you being the ones. I'll continue to recommend this to anybody. Like, Holly Jackson did her big one on this one, and I'm not even gonna lie, the way that I'm speaking about this book, this might definitely be top 3, okay? It definitely might be top 3. So now that we completed the first level, let's go ahead into the second level. feel like we could definitely fly through this one, because now we done went through the background of why I chose these books, and gave it a little bit of a little pizzazz on why these are my favorites. So tell you the truth, I'm not even gonna do much explaining. I'm just gonna get down to it and choose the one that I feel like should be at the top. And I just want, yeah, I'm just gonna get into it, because I'm just gonna get into it. The first one on level two, let's get ready to rumble. Okay, let me stop playing. The first one the next not even category. The next ones that we're gonna do is Steelheart versus Aurora Rising. Let's go ahead and bring our two competitors up. We got Steelheart and we got Aurora Rising. We got sci-fi versus fantasy. Yeah, fantasy. Fantasy, magical powers versus found family sci-fi. And I would say, just with these two going against each other, like, y'all know I have a love for Brenda Sanderson. I'm not even gonna put the book up against Aurora Rising, okay? Because Aurora Rising book was so well done, I still think about it to this day. I even went back, bought it again, gave it away, bought it again, like, read it. Every time this was the start of my J. Kristoff love. So we already know who won this one. Who do you think? Yes, if you got it right, Aurora Rising won this one. Steelheart will not be going into the final round, guys. Won't be going into the final round. Definitely a good book. Definitely would recommend the whole entire series. But for me, Aurora Rising takes the cake. Oh, guys, I thought this would be easy. But we got a hard one. Guys. Our next battle will be Percy Jackson versus the Hunger Games. Now, I just want to say, if I don't choose right, my sister says she gonna unfollow me. So if you don't agree with this, I'm just kidding. But she really did say she gonna unfollow me if I don't choose right. Who y'all think she like? Well, you got it right. She really loved the Percy Jackson. And don't get me wrong, I get her love for it too. And I really love Hunger Games. And she don't really like Hunger Games all like that. She looking at me right now. Like I was saying, this is really gonna be hard for me. Like, I really love both of these. Like, I really just want to bundle these books up and not even give it any rating. You know what? Let's just move this to the end. I can't. We have to do it now. I already pulled up all the fancy antics. It's already been brought up. And I'm sorry. To anybody that's hurt, okay? I'm sorry to anybody that's hurt, but I'm gonna have to choose Hunger Games. I'm gonna have to choose Hunger Games. I'm sorry. I love both of them, but the thing about it is, who got the better movie? Hunger Games do. I feel like I can't go off of what's inside. I can't go off of what's inside. Only reason why I say that is because for the Hunger Games series, I rated majority of all them 5 stars. And for Percy Jackson, I rated all them 5 stars. But when we go into the nitty gritty, let's go even deeper, okay? Let's go into who been coming out with bangers after bangers when it comes to the movies. And that's Hunger Games. I'm sorry. Like, bring out a better movie, okay? Bring out a better movie. When I watch the show, have the show actually be good, and then I will be able to choose Percy Jackson. Because I feel like that's what I'm going based off, okay? I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. This is what I'm going based off of. I'm going based off who got some good movies, and that's Hunger Games. Hunger Games going to the finale. I'm sorry, Percy Jackson. Let's play a sad song. Play some trumpets. Play some trumpets for him. He ain't going nowhere. I'm just kidding. I plan on end up doing a reread too. I don't want to sit there and completely throw him off the shelf. But going against Hunger Games, when we decide on which one it's gonna be, we're gonna have to go to the movies. And Hunger Games won. Hunger Games won. So on our next battle, after that heart wrenching battle, next we have to go to our other one, and that's The Cruel Prince versus Hooky. Ooh, this gonna be good. This gonna be Now on this battle we have our other contenders. We got Hooky versus Cruel Prince, guys. Now before even choosing, this is just as hard. But I will have to say, like, we don't even need to go into detail, okay? We don't even need to go into detail. But my love will forever go out to Hooky. I love this series so much. I remember when I went on leave, I ended up going home, right? And I brought the first book because I saw this in, the middle grade section. I picked it up. And when I was on leave, I was like, okay, let me read the first one. When I say I love this book so much, since I'm home when I'm on leave, because I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. When I'm home, I don't really order books home or buy books home, because I just, I buy them when I'm back in where I'm stationed at. And when I had read Hooky, literally that next day, I paid to buy the second and third book, and I got them fast shipping, and I read them that next day I got it. You know how much love you gotta have for a book to do all that? I really wanted to finish every single last book, and God, this author just did so well with this book. I really love the love and dynamic between the sisterhood, and even I feel like the small little driblets of romance that they had in it, and the telling, and it was just so good. Like, they should make this not even anime. They should make this a cartoon or anime. I'll take either or. They should make this into a show. Like, it was just so good, so well done. I feel like there's even still more to tell. Like, everybody played a great part. Like, I feel like this would be just such a great story to tell, such a great story to watch. And going against Cruel Prince, I'm sorry, Hooky won this one. So for our next one, we have The Witchlings versus A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And I'm not gonna lie, the way that it's titled in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, this battle is gonna be complete murder, because we already know who won this. But let's go ahead and get into it. So yes, next contenders, we have The Witchling versus A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Listen, if you're saying Witchlings won, please go to sleep and take a nap, because you lying. You got a headache or something, because that's a lie. We already know A Good Girl's Guide to Murder won. Like, I loved every single book. And in The Witchlings, like I said before, it fell off on the second book. And A Good Girl's Guide to Murder continued to pull my attention in and kept me going. Kept me loving this story. Kept me entertained. And that's all we want. We want to be thrown into another world, thrown into another story. And that's what Holly Jackson did. And yeah. Why A Good Girl's Guide to Murder dragged The Witchlings like that? Like, you too old to be doing this. You too old to be you too be old to be doing this now. Especially to some little kids. To the kids. Okay, we know who won this one, okay? It was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. We are finally on the second to last round. Now, this part definitely might be the hardest, because I feel like between those books, well, the third round, I wouldn't say, like, we just got the ones that they done made it as far as they could. Okay, they made it as far as they could, but it's time to get into the nitty gritty. It's time to hurt even more feelings if I haven't hurt them already. So in the first round, we have Aurora Rising versus The Hunger Games. Please shut the camera off. We must mourn. But let's go ahead and get started. Aurora Rising versus Hunger Games series. I love both books so much. But As much as it hurts me to say this, I feel like Aurora Rising has made it as far as she could. She done made it as far as she could. But against the Hunger Games, I'm sorry, you just can't win. You can't win. You can't win. I was really hoping to keep bringing it. Maybe I should have bet up. No, I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even do that. Oh, man. She done made it as far as she could. But we knew it wasn't going to win. I can't bring up how good the stories was and how much nostalgia and how much love I have for the Hunger Games to battle against Aurora Rising. It's just crazy. Oh, I love this book. I love this series. And I will continue to love this series. Let's say goodbye. Let's say goodbye because you done been knocked off the totem pole. So once again, you know who won? Hunger Games. Hunger Games is continuing to eat. I feel like Hunger Games is literally dragging the rest of these books. Dragging the rest of my favorite series. Tell you, I should never put this on here. Who told me to put it? Who told me to put this book on here, okay? Who told me to put this book on here? But Hunger Games won once again. It is going to the finals. Hunger Games is going to the finals. Now, we're on to our next battle. And my sister's a little hurt. She's a little hurt because she really wanted me to choose the Percy Jackson series. And I'm sorry, but the movies talk, okay? The movies talk. The movies talk. And the Hunger Games is continuing to eat in these movies. Continuing to eat. They even had my girl Viola Davis in it. In the last one. But we're not talking about how much I hurt my sister's feelings. We're going into our next battle. And that's Hooky versus A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Alright. Let's get into it. We got Hooky versus A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Both of these are very great books. Both of these are very great books. And I feel like even with this series, with the Hooky series, with it being a graphic novel, the author did such a well done job of making this book feel like it wasn't a graphic novel. It felt like I was really intertwined in this series. But the thing about it, I'm sorry. Yay. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. A mystery will always get me. I'm sorry. I love a graphic novel. But a good mystery, a well done mystery will continue to pull me in, all right? Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And especially that ending, bro, who expected, if you read this book, who would have expected that ending? Who would have expected it? Because not me. When I say that mess surprised me, I was sitting in shock, standing there like this for almost 2 days. If you haven't picked this book up, pick it up because you're missing out. Like the rest of the reading, anybody in YA who loves some good YA books, literally they're way past you because you haven't picked this book up. Pick it up. And tell me if you loved it because I definitely did. Now we're finally on to our last battle of the night, guys. I feel like it's coming too fast. It's hurting a lot of feelings. It's hurting my feelings. It's hurting my soul because I have to pit these two against each other. I have to pit Hunger Games and Percy Jackson, one of my favorite series, against each other. Tell you the truth, it should have been them two up here. But sadly, it didn't make the cut. Now let's go into our last battle of the night. Hunger Games versus A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Now, we had literally made it this far out of the whole entire thing. And before, I don't even want to get into it. Let's just go ahead and start this battle. We have The Hunger Games versus A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Now, the one thing that I want to take out of here is the show. Well, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder ended up getting a show. I didn't really like it. To me, I felt like it wasn't that it wasn't good. I just felt like they were on a very low budget, and I also felt like they should have chose better actors. That's just me. I know some people might have liked it. I just did not. I couldn't even finish it because of how bad the acting is, and I just wasn't with it. But the thing about it, let me just give you a second for you guys to think on which one I will be choosing. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder or The Hunger Games. I feel like this is definitely gonna be a hard one, guys. And let's just go ahead and let's get into the movies. I feel like for The Hunger Games, I definitely felt like maybe, I believe it was the second book, it kind of got a little bit repetitive, but I still felt like it was a good story. I feel like the books were very well done. I feel like it more with the Hunger Games book. I mean, like the Hunger Games well, with the book and the movie, I feel like in the book you're able to get more of Katniss' side and why she chose the things that she does. I know a lot of people, they have a little kind of like, I feel like if you love if you don't like Katniss in the movies, you'll like her in the book, because she explains more. You get more of her side from the books than you do from the movie, and there's a lot of things. I will say, to be able to make that type of adaptation from the Hunger Games to the movies was such a well done job. And tell you the truth, at this point, I'm not even going off the movies, I'm going off of how I feel, and I would just have to say, I would have to say A Good Girl's Guide to Murder has to take the title, because this one won, okay? Because if you thought it was Hunger Games, you were wrong. I feel like, don't get me wrong, I really loved the movies better than I did like the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder show. And I felt like maybe if they were given more of a budget and more of better actors, it would have popped off really good. But the reason why I would say A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, because I will never forget the ending of this series. And I felt like it was such a crazy turn that you would just never suspect that. Like, you would never suspect that. And I feel like with each book, it was just something new, something that will turn your head, something that would have you thinking. And like, falling into Pip's world, like, just seeing her whole entire side, seeing her investigate. And I felt like she wasn't even that annoying. Like, I feel like sometimes when you have like somebody investigating a murder, they kind of be annoying, like the way they be going at people and stuff. But Pip did not do that. Like, she used her, like, she was just so smart. She used her will to be able to find out what happened, find out who did it. And also, you have to read more of it if you want to get a better understanding of what I'm getting to. But I'm sorry, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is the winner. So if you thought it was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, if you knew this book was gonna win, congrats to you, because you knew what type of time I'm on. You know what type of time I'm on, and that's why, standing ovation, guys. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. So once again, guys, we have our winner. Now, I just want to clear it up, is that, don't get me wrong, I love every single last one of these books, and I will recommend them. I don't know how many times I would have to say it to repeat myself. This was just like a fun little thing to do, and to be able to give you guys, also, one, give you recommendations, and two, be able to, I don't know, just something to do. And it was really fun to do. I felt like it really brought me out of myself when it comes to recording. And I thank you so much, guys, for staying to the end of the video if you did. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, tell me which books that you thought would win. Tell me which books that you felt like I was wrong on. I want to be able to see your opinion in the comments. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.